Hey guys, what's going on? This is Matt here for another podcast episode for you for Having a Yak podcast. How's everyone going out there today? Well guys, this is a podcast episode that I'm really looking forward to do for you today. This is more of a wrap-up type episode of the podcast. Not exactly this is the end of the podcast, but this is just a end of year podcast that I'm really excited to do for you guys. Today, I'm going to be giving you the last, this is episode 19, I think it is, of the actual podcast now. And I want to give you guys the full wrap up of the podcast. It's been one hell of a year. And I reckon it's just been one of those things where I've had some pretty good, I've had some really good times on this podcast already. Like I said, it's not the end of it. No ways. We're just getting started, mate. But this is one episode that I wanted to do, and I wanted to bring you guys the bits and pieces of each episode that I thought was the best. And like I said, this is episode 19, and I'm very, very happy with this podcast as it's going through what's going through. It's been one hell of a ride, guys, and it's only going to get better. And I reckon it's going to be one of those things where it's only going to get better. It's as simple as that. Like, we've gone through all sorts of things on this podcast already. We've had my time on here. I've brought some great people on here. I brought my mother on here. I brought my nana on here. John, my mate Andrew. We've had some very interesting times, haven't we? We've gone through by talking about, all sorts of things. From the start of the year, we're talking about, with my mate Andrew, we're talking about this COVID-19 thing. What the hell is it? And what it was all about, apparently where it came from. We done my welcome episode, which was episode 1, which I had no idea what the hell I was doing. But I got better as the time went on. I've upgraded my equipment from the start to now. At the start, I had a Zoom H6 field recorder. I recorded on that. I took that everywhere. I recorded on everything. Now I've got myself a Rodecaster Pro. And like I said before, on episode 3, I brought my mum on here. And she talked about travelling all around Australia when between the 70s and the 90s and that. And we had some real good times even talking about that. Episode 4, we had the last podcast about COVID-19 with me mate Andrew, which was a bit of a lie because we kept on talking about it anyway. Episode 5. I set the record straight about Australian myths. Episode 6. Me and my mate, we just talked all sorts of shit. I remember doing that episode, and it was good. Then, next episode we done on episode 7 was I sat down about COVID-19, and we just talked about all sorts of things with Andrew and Mum. Episode 8, Mum told us her story about how she was young and how she was brought up and how she was today. Episode 9, we brought on another guest named John. And what Australia should do with exports and talked about China, because around this time, this is when China started getting really antsy about Australian exports. It's just one of those things where what John was saying on the first episode was so right. It was the way that he said it was probably the best way of actually saying it, really. Then we done on episode 11, I think it was, or episode 10 or whatever. We done something even bloody better. We chatted about all sorts when the restrictions finally went down and we actually were able to go down to Melbourne. I went to see my mate and also picked up the beautiful PC that he built for me with his mate. And that's when we had an episode and we just talked about all sorts of shit. And it was one of the funniest times of the podcast. Then I went up north. I took the family up north, up to my grandmother's place. And that's when we talked about traveling around Australia with my mother and my nana. And how even my pop used to do things. That was one hell of an episode. That went for nearly 2 hours, that did. Then we had another episode with my nana, and Nana telling her story and how times have changed from me nana's generation to my mum's generation to my generation. Then I decided to talk about mental health when it comes to COVID-19 and talk about depression and anxiety and how things are doing tough, or how people are doing things tough. It's one of those things where people don't really really now still don't understand. It was one of those things where I had to talk about it. And I reckon that hopefully I've gone through a lot of people who actually have talked about it. The next episode after that is Ghost Real, and I'll talk about my experiences and what I've seen and heard. Now, that was no word of a lie, guys. We went to Port Arthur, and I told you about how I felt I was getting strangled, and how my mum even had experiences, and how I had experiences. Even at the hospital where I live, I had experiences. Then after that, I done my history when it comes to gaming consoles and gaming altogether. That was one hell of an episode. And then, after that, I done another episode about gaming, and that was Gaming Through the Years with Andrew, where we talked about from the first console we ever played to the last one, what we're playing now. I've now got myself a PS5, and I reckon it's one of the great consoles. Now, after that, the latest episode, What Australia Needs to Hear, was with John. And I tell you what, that one there was one of the best episodes I've ever done. Really. John had so much to say. And I can tell you right now, he's got so much more to say in the new year. Because this is going to be the last episode, I reckon, for 2020. And I'm hoping that 2021 is going to be a lot better than 2020. Fuck, I hope so, mate. I really do. But anyway, guys, here it is. This is the wrap-up of all the best bits that I found were actually, in some ways, the wrap-up of 2020. This goes for a while, so sit back and relax and enjoy it. Like I said, this is one of the episodes I wanted to do. Like I said to you, and I wanted to give you guys my point of view and what I think was the best bits of having the Yak podcast with me. Now, this bit here goes for 42 minutes, guys. So, like I say, sit back and relax and enjoy listening to the show. I reckon you guys will like this. So here it is, guys. This is the wrap-up of Having the Yak podcast for 2020. I'll see you soon.
They do make some sense, you know. But the toilet paper is one I couldn't really like.
People were just bloody panic buying, mate. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, mate? You're bloody buying nearly 10 fucking packets of toilet rolls. What are you going to do? Freaking build a cubby house with it? Now, is this the story that I was telling in my introduction episode about you being called Honky from your dad?
Yes.
And getting told that it was actually full of crocs and it was actually
Yes.
feeding time?
Yes. We got dropped back off at the river about 5, I think it was. And the bloke said, yeah, you want to get across pretty quick, because he just said, the water level's coming up. And I actually believed it.
Yep.
And so my father, being my father, he said to me mother, he goes, Mag, you can go first. We'll see how deep it is and get across. So we all just, went across, and he had a jerry can of diesel. He said, I'll be at the back in case something happens. And so we got across, and they said, geez, you're lucky, it's feed time for the crocs right now. So, yes, well, I do believe in walking on water. We ran, well, as you can run in water. But that was a good trip. Then we come back to surface, and
We're going to be doing this tonight at night time. I've got my I've got my mate on via Facebook, Andrew. What's going on?
Yeah, not a lot.
And I've also got another special guest. You know, very very special guest.
The most important of all.
The star of the Having a Yak podcast.
The one of a kind.
Yes.
oh,
My mother. What's going on,
oh,
mother?
stop it. Keep going. What else you got to say? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so can I.
Bloody oath, I will. Hey,
Starts
they want
poking people with a tape measure. Back, please.
hey, they want to take this shit freaking too seriously. Fucking, I'll make sure it takes it seriously. I'll
You
take
know what'll
my-
be even better? I could just picture this now, that you get the cops calling you for poking people with a tape measure. The police rock up, sir, and you poke them as well. 1.5.
1.5, don't come near me. Pass me the fine. Or meet you halfway.
just put the check on the ground, or give me the fine on the
check.
ground, and I'll exchange the check for you. But we have to make sure we're meeting halfway.
Oh,
I can just see it now, just and the tape measure flops over or something. It kinks or something like that. Kinks.
Hey, well, shit. But you gotta laugh at this type of shit.
I will say this about all the talk with NRL players refusing the flu jab and all that kind of stuff, and not wanting to have needles and all that. Freak, Essendon's tailor made for this. They'll be laughing.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
This will be right up their alley.
Ooh,
They're
yeah.
the only club that will accept them.
Sorry, people. It's been nice knowing you after that.
Uh,
Even though I do work with an Essendon supporter, and I tend to stir up about that all the time.
hey, it's all right for you, Sue. My face is on the freaking cover art, you bastards.
It's all good.
It's all right, Matt. Just when they come to remonstrate, just bring out your tape measure.
Hey, you can throw that rock at me in a minute. Just make sure you're 1.5 meters away from me.
They pull out a shotgun.
Oh,
1.5.
don't you start. But I remember he gave up smoking, and he said, right, back when the colour TVs first come in.
Oh, yes, you got to tell this story.
And it was back when the One Day started,
Yeah,
back in the early 80s, I think it started, or late 70s.
yeah.
And the colour TV come in. And it was such a big deal. Went to Echuca, got the colour TV, brought it back, set it up. We watched, we thought, oh, that looks beautiful. And the cricketer decided, well, his first was the first innings, first bowl. Bang. The lightning struck the top of the house, burnt the TV. So we never got to see the cricket with the colour TV, not that night anyway.
School, because
No.
well, you should really tell the story about when you're in primary school about what you done to a teacher.
Well,
That's what you should really be saying.
well, I was grade 6. There was only about 4 of us that were actually in grade 6 and 5. And we had this teacher come in, and I'm sorry, but he was a twit. He was such an idiot. But we thought, we all got together this day and thought, right, what are we going to do to him? And so we said to him one day, let's play hide and seek. So he hid behind the tree, and we said, oh, we'll tie you up just to, muck around. And we tied him up, and then we said, oh, I'll see you later. I won't mention his name because you don't know. Someone might know who he was. But we said, we'll see you later, and we all went home. We thought, well, buggy you can stay there. So he was tied up for the rest of the day until his wife came home from work.
I remember you telling me, now it's all right, you won't get into trouble now, but but then you used to drink a slab. Yes, you weren't really driving, were you?
Yes.
So you're driving. Oh God! Listen up, Kitty Winks. So you used to drink. You and your friends used to drink a slab of beer.
Yep.
Go up to Swan Hill.
Yeah, which was about an hour, which is about 100 k's, I think, or 110 k's or something.
Which is what, 120 miles?
Oh, something like that.
Something
It was an hour drive anyway.
So I think it's about an hour drive.
And you get very thirsty.
Now you weren't drinking a full slab yourself, were you?
No.
No, it was shared. So you're probably drinking about
6 cans each.
6 cans each.
Back in the day when beer was cheap,
yes.
and then you go to the discos
Oh God!
and buy a $3 jug of beer, and then you'd have beer and pizza afterwards.
Yeah, I've actually tried that.
It's beautiful.
It is absolutely fantastic.
The only problem with that, kids, you put on too much weight.
But it has to be, what type of pizza? It has to be like an Aussie or a Hawaiian.
Meat lovers, anything like that, Hawaiian, whatever, depending on what you like.
Now, what type of beer were you drinking at that time?
VB.
VB? I thought you'd never drank VB.
VB or Melbourne.
Yeah, I'm not going to mention names, but one of your close friends in a caravan park. Apparently, you guys got a bit too rowdy in the caravan park. Now, yes. I'm not going to mention the friend. I'm not going to mention the friend's name.
No, this particular person was a good friend of mine. She used to live in a caravan park down towards Bendigo. I'm not saying any more than that.
Yep.
And there was 3 of us, or 4 of us. 3 of us went down there to see her. And we got to meet some friends of hers, went to a disco back in the day, which is not really happening nowadays.
No, not really.
And then they all come back to the caravan park. Well, we decided to have a little party in the caravan that we were renting, staying in for the night. 2 nights we were staying there.
Yeah.
So this was the first night. So we went to the disco, sorry. We went to the disco, of course, had too much to drink, of course. Come back to the caravan park, and she was living there at the time with her mum and brother. And so we come back and, got a bit loud. The next morning we had the person that owned the caravan park come over to us, and they said, we'll give you a refund, but can you please remove yourselves from the caravan park?
Oh,
so we've actually got kicked out of the caravan park because we were too noisy.
I've got myself a special guest here, a brand new fella. And his name's John. What's going on, mate?
Not a lot, mate. Not a lot. We should just say, fuck China. But we do need them initially, but once our umbilical cord to China is severed and we can stand on our own, I think the sooner that happens, the better. We don't really need to be associated with China as much as we have been. What was it like for everyone to have to go without toilet paper? You know, like what a fast. Where did this come from? This thing, you know, like this is another psychological taunt from China. This is how well we're manipulated by their train of thought, by their rumour mongering, by everything. You know, so.
It's like exactly like how did this bloody toilet paper thing actually start? Like that's what I really want to know. Those
panic buying, but you know, like everyone just didn't. I don't know. All I know is that a 24 roll lasts me over a month. So if you've got and if it was going to be as bad as it said it was going to be, we're all going to be dead within a month, and we weren't. And now we've got cupboards full of shit paper for shit. And we, I can't understand. I still see some products on the shelf are not there.
Yeah.
Because it's proven that keep the oil 1.5
Which
we are doing.
We are doing, but not everyone's doing either.
No. But apart from that and sanitising, washing your hands, we shouldn't have another wave.
anyone on a glob?
No,
Yeah,
I'm
might
right.
as well have a little bit, mate. Might have a little bit.
No,
Oh, jeez, that's a bit.
just a tiny bit. Thank you.
It's for safety, everyone. So we're just.
Safety. There you go. That doesn't actually sound good.
Actually
That
good.
does not sound good.
Oh, Mario, do you want a glob?
Oh,
That smells
you-
nice.
around the other side. But they're not going to any Asian countries,
No.
No.
especially China. Fuck China. So,
Fuck the China, but not the Chinese food.
yes. The Chinese food's alright, but only in Australia. The rest of it's shit. Too much garlic.
If Matt did have the Rona, it's being killed with the chili he had last night.
Oh, a fucking Reaper.
Oh, boy, good
The
lord.
Carolina Reaper sausage. Jesus Christ.
Yes.
You know that Mum still doesn't freaking believe me either.
What's that?
What?
About when we sifted, I went up and down my throat and up my nose and
yeah.
that. It burned the fuck out of my nose. Like I'm still a
No
bit
need
sore
to
up
pick
there.
it. There's no need to pick it.
That's freaking sore.
Well, that's your fault for sniffing.
And you put the bloody pan under my nose.
You did give it a good old waft, and we
And
both
I
went.
went like that, right? I went like this, and
I was on my hands and knees in the lounge room. Matt was on his hands and knees in the kitchen.
it was bad. It was bad.
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 Well, it wasn't good. Put it that way.
No, it was not good.
It's bad to the bone.
But I tell you what, it was nice. It was bloody beautiful. It was a beautiful stag.
All half an inch that Matt actually had before he chickened out.
I don't freaking bloody care.
It's good for you. It's good if you got the sniffles. It's good if you got
Freaking
the
sniffles. I'll give you.
I'd
bloody
reckon just
sniffles.
about clean everything out, I'd reckon. Even the other side effect.
Yeah, but if you can have a shower in the shorts.
Your shorts.
If you don't know what that means, guys, it means you must have to shit yourself and have to have a shower in the shorts.
Very case bad diarrhea.
That's yeah. So
Yeah, lovely day.
have a sniffle. No sneeze. No sneeze. No sneeze. No sneeze.
I don't think this podcast is going to plan. Not that we even had a plan to begin with. I think this is going.
This is. I just wanted to do one, just for the sake of doing one, and just slap one up. It doesn't always have to be out with a topic. I'm going to sneeze, but I don't know if I'm going to sneeze.
Can you imagine people sitting at home right now just listening, just going, why are we?
Well, there we go.
I don't know.
What the hell?
Well, thanks anyway, guys, for bloody listening in. But yeah, this is just how it is.
I don't think
I'm-
I don't think this one's going to make the cut.
Hey, nah, it's all right. I'm gonna sneeze. It's right there.
We don't need to know. Don't
right
share the love.
What did you say? Listen to a bloke talking about sneezing for a good 5 minutes. Then snorts all over me rug. Snorts.
I think a big boogie just come in.
Oh,
Guys, what's going on? Back here again for another episode of Having the Egg Podcast. Hope all is well with you all. Today I've actually got myself another special guest here. Once again, I've got Mum. Say go.
hello.
And I've also got on another special guest, brand new one, my grandmother, Beryl. What's going on, Nana? Just talk. It's all right.
Hello.
Alright. So basically what's going to happen here... Why are you laughing?
That cuts it out.
It's alright.
I just
Fine.
can't. I'm looking at Glenda, she's laughing. Don't know what happened.
But I laugh at Matt.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I
You-
do.
Are we actually still on?
This is be good for kids with the singing and the,
This is you're record. You're on now. You actually are recording
Right.
now.
So what are we talking about today, Matt?
we are recording this to do the second part of the Travellers episode that I've done with you.
Oh, righty.
Yeah.
Yes.
But,
I would like to get the second story or the other story of my grandmother who was with Mum at the time and just get a bit of extra stories about it, what actually happened with the bull dust and
we went
God
Oh,
knows
one
what else.
particular time we were heading across the bull dust, and Dad noticed a wet trail behind us. He says, "Oh, what the hell's that?" And we turned out it was the bloody petrol tank. And he said, "Well, how the bloody hell are we going to fix up this problem?" So we no. I was about 8 when we went on our first one to Darwin with the camping
Yeah.
trip.
Oh, we were about 10 or 12. 10.
Yeah, something like that.
She was only about 10-year-old, and Spec said, "Oh, we'll pull in here for a drink." So we pulled into this service station, and we were stopped there, and we had tea there, and Spec said to some of them, "Oh, my daughter can play the organ," so she got on the organ and started playing
Oh, yeah.
over the Nullarbor,
Don't even remember
and
that.
everyone, it was Belgala, name of the town.
Balgala. I think.
Yeah, Belgala, something like that, over the Nullarbor.
Yeah.
Then we took off the next morning.
We had to go to hospital and I was going to say, "Oh, I'll stay here with you, make sure everything's all right." And she said, "Oh, don't worry about it, it's all good." And all of a sudden, this was at 3:30 in the morning. Everything was shut. Doors were shut. Doors were locked. Most of the lights were out. Only for the essential lights, only the essential parts of the hospital were actually still open and still lit. Now, I actually went this other way and it looked like an old bit of the hospital. I don't know how the fuck I got there, but I got there. Anyway, it was a very, 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 very creepy area. So anyway, I went there and all the rest of the shit. And again, I bloody felt this chill. This real chill. This was no good chill. This was a real bad chill. You know what I mean? So anyway, I looked around. I turned around, I had a look, and all I could see was this bit of a figure out in the distance, right? Now this figure was probably about my height, about 6'7", something like that, 6'4", around there. Now, but then at the same time, as this figure was coming towards me, it was getting smaller to about the size of a 5'11", 6-foot woman. Now, do you know the old-fashioned nurses? You know, the ones with the top hat type things and with the white dresses and that? Yeah, well, I seen one of them. And all of a sudden, she had like a normal face on her, but then all of a sudden, she had this real bad look on her. And she said, "Get out of here. You're not welcome here in this part. This is not the part of the hospital. This is a private part." And it was like screaming it. Scared the fuck out of me, guys. I'm telling you, it's really scared the fuck out of me. There was this one building where we had to go on the tour, and it was with the what was it with the pastor? Not pastor like Alfredo, the pastor or preacher or whatever they call him, a churchy mob. Anyway, so we went to this house. Now apparently this bloke was wronged in some way. I can't remember exactly, but he was wronged by the government that was ruling over Tasmania at that time, or Port Arthur at that time. And so anyway, he had a real grudge on him. And then he said that no one's going to be allowed back in his house. So anyway, time goes by, and now these workmen, like I think they were like contractors or builders or something. No, they were redoing the house or some shit. Like fixing it up in that, So anyway, these builders were sleeping one night. Now this old bloke, he was sleeping, and he kept on hearing bangs like bangs like that on the wall, like real heavy like bangs. Like someone's just getting their feet and smashing against the wall, right? Now, apparently, what happened is he woke up. He said, "Oh, shut up." We'll just say Glenn. Shut up, Glenn. Bloody hell, mate. We're trying to fucking sleep here, shit like that, And all he heard was and then the other bloke woke up and he was choking. Like someone was literally getting their hands and choking this poor bastard. Right, that was one instance. Now we were there. Now we had a nighttime ghost tour. Now this is where I was more convinced that these things were real. Now we went out on a very cold night. Right, now this was Port Arthur in Tasmania. Now if anyone knows anything, Port Arthur in Tasmania is a very, very cold place. Now this was a windless, very cold, but very clear night. There was not one speck of wind. There was no clouds, there was no nothing. It was just a full moon, cloudless and clear night with no fucking wind, right? So we're walking around, went to this house, and then as he was telling the story I just told you then, he was stomped his feet and scared the shit out of him, like, oh shit, And we're all saying, like, there was a group of about probably, I don't know, about 20 to 25 people, something like that. Now, now we were standing around, and he was telling the story, but then all of a sudden, I felt something on my neck. It's like, oh shit, what the fuck's that? Like, oh, what the fuck? It felt like I was getting choked. Now, it wasn't actually choking. Now, if you want to grab your hand, now put it on your throat, just put it on there, and just slightly squeeze, right? Just slightly squeeze, and push up. It was like that on my throat. Now, hopefully no one done nothing stupid, right? But that's what it felt like. It really felt weird that someone was not even fucking there. Put their hands on me throat, or hand on me throat, and started fucking choking me. Now, we had to go to this building called the Honeycomb. We went to another place, but I'll tell you this one first. Now, the Honeycomb was like their sleeping area. Now, the Honeycomb was a bad place. Now, this is where they broke them. This is where they done all sorts of things, right? Anyway, there was this one particular bloke who hated people going to his cell. Now, I can't remember exactly why, but he hated people going to his cell. Now, when we went to this Honeycomb and we were standing around and, looking around and being all creeped out because it's a real creepy place when it's at night time. A real creepy place. So, anyway, with that, I seen this, now I was against the wall. So that gives that a bit of a thought too. I was against the wall. And on the other side of the room, Because I think this room was about, say, about 20 by 10 feet, I suppose. Probably a bit more, bit larger than that. It was a pretty big room. And I had stairs so I can go up to the next level and that type of thing. So it was probably 100 by 50 feet long, probably. It was a big room. Anyway, it was this really eerie feeling I had. But here's the thing. Mum even bloody felt this too. Now, I seen this figure on the other side of the room. Now, it was a very dark figure. Real dark figure. This was not a normal figure. This was dark. This was a real black, shadowy type figure. And it was one of those type of figures that you kind of feel, what the fuck is this? Like, this is shit, man. And as the figure got closer, it got clearer. It was this bloke in these pajama-looking things. Now, the convicts used to wear these certain clothes. It was like a white and black patch type deal. I wish I could show you photos on here, guys, but I can't, so sorry about that. But it was like a white and black patch. If you want to, guys, know what I'm talking about, just look up Port Arthur in Tasmania, Australia, and just look up the history about it. It's pretty freaky stuff. But anyway, back to it. Now, he was getting closer. And he was getting closer and closer. And then he was just saying, "Get out!" And then all of a sudden, he was going to come up to me like he was running full fucking pelt, man. Like he was running full fucking pelt. And he was going to get me. Like he was going to fucking hit me or kill me or something. But then as soon as he started running towards me, my instincts, I was going to walk back a bit. But I had no more room. I had the wall there. So I was just stuck there and I could not fucking move. I don't know why, but I could not fucking move. It was like I was frozen in time. And then all of a sudden he came up, he was about to hit me and whoosh, he disappeared. And yeah, he just disappeared. It was one of the creepiest fucking things, I'm telling you.
You know, like, it makes me wonder, you know, what would happen? You know, we have had outspoken individuals in the past. Just to mention Pauline Hanson during the John Howard years, she was jailed for some trumped up reason. She served time in jail.
Yep.
We have Clive Palmer, who was bewhittled by a government who pulled all sorts of tricks and trickeries on him to get him to shut up, accused him of doing all sorts of atrocities to his own companies. But at the end of the day, what these people said was true. It was the truth. And I think, this is just my view,
Yep.
is that the government of today and yesterday can't handle the truth. They can't speak it and they can't listen to it.
Yeah.
And the truth is that we don't need to be reliant on China.
No.
We never were in the 50s and the 60s. Even into the 70s we weren't. I remember our dealings with China starting in around about 77, 78. A Prime Minister by the name of Malcolm Fraser,
Yep.
who sacked a Labor Prime Minister, Gough Whitlam, because he held a white Australian policy.
Yep.
Now, that policy was foresight of the time, but could we imagine if that policy was still current now? Where would we be? We would be up with solitary nations like America, Russia, England, Germany, France, that, you know, they have their own industries there. They're self-sufficient in a lot of ways, where we've sold all our industries off. We've sold our self-sufficiencies off. We don't know how to think for ourselves anymore. We're believing leaders that are supposed to be elected by the people. Well, I didn't vote for this business with China.
No.
I certainly didn't agree with all our eggs being put in China's basket, because now look what's happened. You know, it's just a mess. I've just been made redundant from an export contract, millions and millions and millions of tons of wood going overseas to China, and then they come up with this poor excuse, bark beetles. But yet the media hasn't shown us what beetle it is, hasn't scientifically named that beetle.
No.
There's been no evidence to suggest that this beetle even exists, but yet it's caused China to say, well, we don't want your wood because of the beetle, it's dirty. We don't want your wine because you're dumping it on us. We don't want your barley because you're dumping on us. We don't want your beef because...
It's well, it was like beef quantity or something, shit like that one. It was shit meat or something.
We look at the price that a farmer's getting today for a prime quality steer at around about $6.50 a kilo.
Yeah.
We go to our local butcher shop and we can expect to pay $27, maybe up to $30 a kilo.
Yeah.
So I can't understand why we've got to eat second grade stuff, our own produce, second grade produce. All the top stuff has been satisfying the greed of China, and now they're not even happy with that. So why aren't we having prime quality meats and seafoods and grains and cereals and all sorts of stuff processed and manufactured and sold to Australians?
Yeah.
Why does everything have to rely on China? You know, like, as I keep saying, duck miner. We don't need them. We really don't. It's like being innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
Now, these 13 soldiers that have been charged or allegedly accused of these atrocities, not once, not twice, not any time has the media publicised, released or made statement to the fact is that they know where the 39 bodies are. They've been forensically assumed from the ground, been forensically examined. They've got convincing, undoubtable evidence to suggest that they were Australian bullets, if they exist, but that was used on these prisoners. And it was an Australian elite services that done this. Is this not, to me, it just seems like another political propaganda story that may have been fueled by some wealthy Chinaman in Afghanistan wanting to discredit us and making up these accusations.
Propaganda. I reckon that's what it is. I reckon Chinese could be spreading rumours about us and saying this shit and then saying to certain people, you don't know. That's the whole thing.
You just don't know, Matt.
The evidence doesn't show, John. That's the whole thing.
No, it doesn't. There's no, media's not showing any evidence at all. They're showing footage, the same footage every day or every week. You see the same footage. There's no burial sites.
No.
There's no battlegrounds that have been shown. There's nothing to indicate that this happened. It's one word against another. It's an accusation that was made and it's been investigated. Now, I know some soldiers that have been over there and fought. I've noticed some soldiers that have gone over there and served. Bloody good people they are. Yep. And I am certain, without a doubt, that this is just a big make-up story to discredit our armed forces so that we have some sort of rift within our own military organisation that will cripple us if we keep persisting with it, that will discredit us. And this is what I'm seeing it doing. Australia is discrediting itself all the time because China is what's calling the shots. China shouldn't be calling the shots. Out of this, we need to put our main political leaders, our parties, at the bottom of the list and let someone that has a broader, more experienced opportunity to lead the country.
Yep.
Someone that knows what it's like to live in the slums. Someone that knows what it's like to be homeless. Someone that knows what it's like to be an addict. Someone that knows what it's like to go out and do 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, and have 5 or 6 kids at home and not have any time for themselves.
Yep.
You know, all this highfalutin and dignified people that, you know, like wearing all these suits and that on TV, that's fine. I mean, to say that's representation and it's probably protocol, but it's not working.
No, it's not, mate.
It's not working.
No.
Australia, we should have no unemployment. We have Royal Commission after Royal Commission after Royal Commission into filing faults within our governments, within our organisations. Recommendations are made. It costs us millions of dollars to have these Royal Commissions, and yet nothing's done.
No.
You know, like the poor people in Black Saturday that are still can't get their houses built, because of rules and regulations,
Yeah.
are still living in sea containers and caravans.
Yeah.
12 months after, they're coming into another summer now. They've just gone through a harsh winter, a COVID winter, living in caravans, living on the only land that they own, the only place they've got to live because they can't afford to live anywhere else because the government can't support them.
Yeah.
And here they go now. They're coming into another season. These people should have been looked after right from the start.
Well, it's like all these bloody campaigns, John, about gathering money up, you know, all these big concerts and that,
Yeah.
raising millions of dollars, but they're not getting the fucking money, mate.
No, they're not. The money's there's been a parliamentary inquiry into that, which we never heard anything out of it. Some organisations receiving alleged millions and millions of dollars
Yeah.
in donations to go and help these people, but yet
Nothing's done.
nothing's done. You see them still driving down in their beaten up old cars, going to their caravan or their tent or their sea containers that are put together with a tarp over the top of them, and they've just done a harsh winter.
Yeah.
They've also been in quarantine and lockdown because of this bloody COVID.
Yeah.
Why is this happening to our people? Why are our alleged, supposedly elected leaders allowing its own citizens to suffer like this when we're more concerned about a bloody bark beetle
Yeah.
that hasn't been identified, scientifically hasn't been named,
There hasn't been a picture of it either.
no pictures, no,
There's
no,
been
nothing.
nothing like that.
Nothing. And yet we've got, just here now today, we've got backbenchers saying one thing, we've got front benchers saying another thing, we've got premiers saying something else, and we've got prime ministers and opposition leaders saying something totally different. But yet they're all getting wages. They're all collecting superannuation. They've all got nice houses to go home to. They've all got stability because they got the silver spoon. What about all the people that have put them there? What about all their constituents? Are they really looking after their constituents? No, they're not.
The Aussie battlers, mate.
Exactly. So this is what I'm saying, is the constituents should start voting for these people, putting them at the bottom of the ballot paper.
Yep.
Not at the top, at the bottom. Put them down the bottom where we've been kept for so many years.
Yep.
Give them a dose of our medicine. Give them a dose of what it's like.
Exactly.
And I think we'll see a really big change in attitude. And this country is great. We can make it greater. And we just have to have the right people in the places to make it great, to be able to make decisions. Get rid of all these blundering, two-bob public servants that handball on, you know, like who signed the cheque to pay for the security guards to do the security on the Novotel quarantine station in Melbourne? No one knows,
Yep.
but someone did.
Oh, yeah.
Someone did. So why isn't that person being charged with 800 counts of murder?
Yep. Exactly right.
Why haven't the security firms been charged with murder?
Yep.
Because it's nothing short. We are an island nation. We should not have had any quarantine outbreak at all. We eliminated polio. We eliminated TB. We've eliminated a lot of diseases in this country. We've stopped a hell of a lot getting here.
Yeah.
And what's happened? Why this COVID thing? Is it really true? Is it really true? Who knows? You just don't know. I know someone that was told he had it and he was quite ill, but 3 weeks after having it, he was back at work, and he said it felt like just a really bad dose of the flu.
Yeah. Yeah.
And nothing more.
Yeah.
Nothing more. Yeah, evidence speaks a lot.
Yeah. It's
If you see something, like I had a phone call with a understudy of the Ministry of Forestry a while back, and they asked me, what do I see when I'm loading the boats? And I said, well, I see lots of breaches in biosecurity.
Oh, yeah.
I see full ship inspections done within half an hour, signed off, and we've got the okay to start loading. I see crews standing on the bottom decks at the gangway taking photographs of log trucks turning up with logs being lifted off and put onto the ships.
Oh, okay.
I see crew coming off ships and walking around the wharves and checking drafts and things like that. And, I see stevedores walking onto ships and coming off ships, and I just find that, there's no, wear your face mask,
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't got a face mask on, written warning, or we're going to pull your port pass, or this or that or the other.
Yeah.
But I see people with authority that are there being paid top dollar
Yeah.
for their authority,
Yep.
letting these things go.
Yeah.
And to me, it's double standard.
Oh,
To me, it's like it's nothing short of being basically bullying, really.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
not to say anything. Do as you're told, not do as you see.
Okay, guys, that was the wrap up of the 2020 episodes that I've done. I really hope you enjoyed it. It's been one hell of a year, hasn't it? Really, hadn't it? It's been one hell of a year. We've had this COVID thing since January, March, or between January or March or something like that. It really came in at March. And we've had a lot of things go on this year. We've had restrictions, we've had lockdowns, we've had all sorts of shit. And we've finally came to the point now where it's nearly Christmas time. And hopefully New Year comes in with a better bloody outcome, I'm telling you. But, yeah. I really hope you guys enjoyed this podcast as much as I've loved making this podcast for you guys. I would like to say thank you for everyone who's actually listened to this podcast for this year. We've had listens from America, we've had listens from France, we've had listens from Spain, we've had listens from Ireland, we've had listens from South Africa, we've had listens from everywhere, mostly from Australia, and I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you very much for listening and taking the time to listen to my podcast. This is something I really want to do for a career. I'm hoping I can do it for many years to come and give you guys more stories and just having a good old yak. As the old saying goes, having a good old yak. It's an Australian term saying that we're just going to have a chat. Because that's all I wanted to do on this podcast. I just wanted to sit down with you guys and just have a chat. Talking about all sorts of shit. From fishing, beers, and all kinds. As the old intro went. But thank you very much, guys. I really do appreciate it. It's just been one of the hell of a year. And, well, that's the thing, right? It's just, it's been one hell of a thing, isn't it? Like we've done one hell of a thing on this podcast. Now, hopefully, I've actually got the right tune here. Like we've gone from something like this. Well, this is the first tune. Right, we've gone something like that. Yeah, that was my first ever tune that I've ever done on this podcast. Now I actually done that through Cubase that I got with me Zoom H6. It's incredible, isn't it? That we could actually do something like that. Like, I actually made that myself by putting bits of music here and there and blah, blah, blah. Until I made up something like this. The current podcast tune. It's incredible, isn't it? It's really incredible. So I've gone through so many things on this podcast. I've learnt so much about sounds and levels of audio and just how to put in some tunes and how to bloody make up some new things. It's been incredible, guys. But anyway, I'm going to leave you guys now with a message, and that is a very happy and safe Merry Christmas. And even better, safer and happier New Year. I hope you guys get everything that you guys need to get through this year. It's been one hell of a year. And hopefully that everyone's safe out there. Again, guys, Merry Christmas and a very safe New Year and a Happy New Year. And I'll see you guys for 21, where more stories come on here and everything else. This is Matt the Big Bear Edwards, guys. Sign off for 2020. I'll see you in the bloody new year, guys. Catch you later. Boo-roo.